Look at that. Director in the making. There we go. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Apologize for the lateness, but we here regardless. Welcome to This Podcast is Canceled, episode 13. Episode 13. Thank y'all for joining us today. We got a wonderful episode lined up for you guys. Want to thank y'all for being here and welcome my also co-host here. I got Zara in the building along with Ju. What's up, you guys?
What's up?
What's going on? Energy.
Energy. Zara, how are you doing today?
I just woke up from a nap, so I'm feeling great.
You know what? Somehow I knew that.
Yeah, I have. I don't know why I always nap before these podcasts, but I do. I need the energy. Energy.
No, any way you get your energy is accepted. You know what? So I understand it. How you doing, Ju?
I'm in the Billy, man. I'm ready to go. Motivated, focused, ready to pod. I had the itis a little bit earlier, but then I shook that shit because I did order that Papa John's pizza.
Oh, you ordered it?
We can get into it a little bit later, but it was
that
actually
didn't
delicious.
that didn't give you the itis, did it?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Itis City.
On the Papa John's?
Yeah, nigga, it's food.
Itis City, nigga.
Nah, you got to be a certain caliber of food for it to give you just itis like that.
All right, them honey chipotles, bruh.
Okay, well, yeah. All right, maybe. I'll let it slide.
I'm telling you, dog.
He said them honey chipotles. I'm screaming.
Nah, the honey chipotles is the truth. If anything, I'll give him that.
5.
I'll give him that.
10 out of 10 slaps.
10 out of 10, huh? We'll see about that. Maybe I'll order some Papa John's this weekend.
Gross.
Damn, all right.
I'm inspiring the movement. That's all I do. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, well, I guess no one cares how I'm doing. So
Oh, how are you doing? We thought that you were just going to naturally tell us.
No, who am I to talk about myself? But since you asked, you know what? I got to be honest with you a little bit, all right?
Okay.
Anyways.
I'm just laughing at the production value of all of this. This is hilarious.
Listen, man, if we don't take it to the next level at some point, then I mean, what are we doing, really?
I love
But no,
it.
so I'm just a little bit upset, just a little bit. I'm not angry, but I'm just bothered a little bit by some things. Perturbed. That's a good way, just sprinkle a little bit of perturbedness on there, right there. But I just got some news. We talked about it briefly. So for the sports fans out there, you probably recognize that clip, the Stephen A. But you probably also know Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless just recently re-upped on the deal with Fox for $32 million M's. $32 million. So first off, round of applause for Skip Bayless because he deserves that. He's why we still don't have an applause button, I'll never know. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But Look, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. One step at a time on the production value. But nah, he signed a deal for 32 million, and first reaction was, "Damn, shout out to Skip, he deserves that." Second reaction was, "Hold on a second. I know another man on another network, Stephen A, who does a similar show. You know, he's been doing it for quite some time. They've been on for a long time, actually. Not only does he do that, he has a radio show. He has several guest appearances at all hours of the day, every single day of the week. And it seems like he ain't really getting valued nearly as much as some other people, some other places are. So I just want to know why that is. Why it seems like our fellow African American brother who's been in the game for years has to work so 24 hours a day, it seems like, to get his money. But, you know, we got Skip Bayless over here who deserves his money, but it didn't seem like he just had to do as much to get it. I just want to know why that is. But I love Skip.
Okay, so I want to start by saying perception is everything, and I think
It is.
perception without all the information definitely is everything. And also too, a point that I want to bring up is just like when we get this information about people's deals, right? Why is it that we don't get the whole contract? And why
Well,
is
we
it
never will.
right? But I think that's important to think about because why is it that every time we learn about someone's contract and their contractual agreements, we learn about this really big figure, and then most of the time it's to pit people against each other. Never is it very much so in order for us to uplift both parties. It's usually to pit like a white guy against a black guy, or a white guy against a black woman, or vice versa. And so when I had another perspective as well, just about how I think it's important for Black people to have financial literacy and financial knowledge, the best team that you can possibly buy with the money that you're provided. But then my other point is just like, why is it that media finds its way into being like racially divisive at every turn? And why is it that we have feelings about something that has been happening for a long time, but then also too we don't have the information on. So that's just kind of what I've been thinking about. Why I've been thinking about this.
Okay. Some great points raised. I'll let you go before I say anything. Go ahead.
Um, like you said, shout outs to Skip. Skip been holding it the fuck down for a long time. Shout outs to the chat, my boy Smooth Rolling for donating. Shout out to the EGP for donating. I love y'all.
Smooth rolling. That's good.
But yeah, I think it's kind of hard to, like Zara said, without all of the information, it's kind of hard to sit here and say what he deserved, or like be so quick to draw that line in the sand between Skip and Stephen A. Because I agree with you. It's completely fair to compare the two, and it's even more fair to say why does he get paid much more for doing less. But the but here is exactly the fact that we don't have all of the information. It's just, it sucks to see, you know, a dude like Stephen A work for such a big company and not be compensated properly, but there's a lot of institutions and systems in place to keep it a certain way for certain people. So it's not
Absolutely.
shocking. So I understand why you say it's interesting, because it is. I mean, that's a small number in comparison to what Stephen A got. And I mean, it's a company owned by Disney, so you would think that they would be more willing to shell out some bread.
That part right there is a big part of it.
You know, you put Stephen A fucking on the after fight shit at the Conor McGregor fight, where he's getting looked at by Joe Rogan like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, because he really doesn't. But ESPN doesn't fucking care, because it's like, we needed a fucking voice, and we needed
nigga,
somebody
you entertaining, get out there.
Yeah, we stir some shit up. Like, go do what you do everywhere else in our building. So I think it's a conversation to be had, no doubt, at some point. Shout outs to Skip again, because I love Skip. I love Skip and Shannon, Uncle Shannon. But I don't know. I think we can only take, we can only do so much from our level. So
Absolutely, yeah.
so it's cool. It's cool as fans to just kind of, enjoy them for what they do and what they offer us and shit like that. I don't
Right.
see Skip or Stephen A slowing down anytime soon, and that leads me to believe Stephen A will get his flowers before it's too late.
For sure, and I hope so. And naturally, when we talk about this kind of stuff, we're never gonna have all the information, like you said. It's just we're not there. We're not in a room signing the paperwork, so we're never gonna have all the information from both sides, right? So I'm of course I'm speaking on this from a surface perspective, from what we can see. We see Skip show, we see Stephen A show, we see what they both do on their respective networks. But the reason I even really brought this up is just because, like, if this was just like a one-off thing, like with just them two, then I'd just be like, whatever. I only bring it up because ESPN has not that great of a track record when it comes to black talent, over on their side, and the way that they treat them or compensate them, or kind of throw them on the back burner. So that's the only reason I bring it up. And like you brought up, ESPN is owned by Disney, and I don't got the numbers up in front of me, but I mean, if I had to compare Fox and Disney, you feel me? Like,
That's
just a guess.
That's-
Just a guess.
there's a lot of space in that market.
Yeah, there is a lot of space in that market. There is,
I
for
like-
sure.
It's crazy. I say the word space.
Oh. So embarrassing.
Wow, how is that embarrassing? That's a good segue.
Horrible. But continue.
Oh, it was. I give you a 5 out of 10 on that one, but it's okay. We'll keep it rolling for the pod.
This
you
nigga
know.
said I give you
Okay.
a C plus. But continue.
Yeah, you passed,
That's-
so we
that's
gonna
a-
move on.
That
but
is a passing grade.
sorry, it's early. Go ahead.
Okay.
If you get high before class like I do, goddamn, a C is great. So anyway,
There you go.
space.
I can't.
Y'all niggas.
Shout out to
Alright.
Skip and Stephen A.
Yeah,
Move
word.
on.
No, yeah. Shout out to skipping them. But Skip, we gonna be skipping them. I don't know, man. Is it just me or like what's the deal, bro? How do y'all feel about personal space? Like, how do y'all feel about like okay, let's put it like this. When do you need personal space? Is there like a meter that you feel like fills up and then it gets to a head and then it boils over and you need your
Now,
space?
Are you
Or-
talking in friendships, relationships, anything specific, or what are you saying?
However you take it right off the bat, and then it'd be nice to know if you're talking about relationships or friendships or whatever. I'm just kind of curious.
Okay. I mean, my mind goes to relationships because that's usually when most people would say the term, I need some space.
Mhm.
So it's just how I feel about it. I mean, me personally, like, I feel like I can never have too much space just because the way I kind of think and operate, I think very few people really like get me to a certain extent, of just where like I can be sitting by myself in a room with nothing on, doing absolutely nothing, and I'll be perfectly okay. Sometimes I just don't feel like talking to anybody. I don't feel like communicating or putting forth the effort to speak to people. And it's nothing against them. It's just I'm just not there right now. I don't have that energy in me. So I think for me, space is extremely, extremely important to have and for the other person to understand when I need it. Because if I don't get it, then it's just like I'm forcing it, and now my whole mood is off, and the relationship is just not there. So I fuck with space. Need a lot of it.
You need a lot of space. Zara.
A lot of space.
I don't need as much space just because I feel like I've spent the beginning part of my life being really introverted, and I really just started getting out of my shell in like high school. I would say like mid high school, so 10th or 11th grade. So when I think of it in those terms, that's what like that's half of my life, about 10 years that I've been kind of like an ambivert, someone who likes to have my own space, but I also too like interacting with others.
You just taught me a new word, ambivert.
Yeah, it's in the middle of introverted and extroverted.
Okay, I never knew that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so for me, it's just like I'm the someone I have to have the actual personal space. So I'm one of the people where I would love to have a roommate. Like I love having roommates. I love living with my family because I like the fact where I can like go where I want to go, be by myself when I want to. But if I also too want to interact with you and like sit around and cuddle, watch TV, talk or whatever, I like having that option as well. Because I just think about like how the older people I know, who maybe don't have the privilege of choosing to be with themselves or just be by themselves, they always say that they regret the times that they didn't spend with other people. And that's not to say like to overdo it, but I also too know that I will always have an option to be by myself. I won't necessarily always have an option to be with other people.
And when you say have an option, you mean like you just that will always be available to you, or
Right.
you like keep an escape plan, is or what you're saying?
No, I will always have the option to say, you know what, I want to kind of just chill. Like,
Okay,
you know what I'm
okay,
saying? I
gotcha.
always have the option to click out of Discord or YouTube or Patreon. Like, I don't
Got
have
you,
to be
got you.
interacting with someone. But there is always, too, the very real reality that at some point I might not have the option to interact with someone.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel
Interesting.
you.
Because, so before I get into it, Bunny, I see you. Shout outs. Thank you very much. Thank you very kindly. I appreciate you for supporting and donating. And I guess when I think of me and personal space, I get into my, I blame it on being an only child. But I do
That's a big part of
enjoy
it.
being by myself. I thrive when I'm by myself. I talk to myself all day, every day, if I'm not talking to somebody else. And I think that's just kind of ingrained in me from being a kid, like just in general. I don't think I don't think it's a negative, but I do definitely have like a social battery that needs to be recharged in terms of, being around family, being around friends, being tapped in on social media, and being up to date with current events and all of that good shit. I definitely um, get to a point where all of that shit is not overwhelming, but it's just a lot to take on at one time. And I choose not to get into shit like that. Like I'm more relaxed as a person. I like to be relaxed, like most people.
Yes.
But I really thrive when I'm relaxed. So when it comes for me, when I get to a point where socially, I can't be of much use to people because I'm in a state of I need my space. I take that time to work on things that not only improve myself, but they improve myself for the betterment of people around me, so that it's not just me being a selfish type of person or blocking out the world and being angry at everybody. I take it as like an actual a moment of like um, self reconstruction in a way. I work on like a character flaw, or I feel like, because it's not that I don't think we should have the necessity for our personal space. I just feel like um, we should be able to manage it a little bit better on a day in day out basis. Because sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes you bottle all that shit up, and then it somebody says something to you the wrong way, or somebody asks you for help with something that you really don't want to help with, and you like, bruh, I just want to sit in my drawers and play the game, bruh.
Bro, that's if that ain't me, then I don't know what is. I'm the king of bottling shit up and then just not saying nothing to nobody, and then you say the wrong thing to me, and look, now you both about to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Cause I told you to leave me the fuck alone.
So like
You know.
I know I said like for me it's because I'm an only child. What do you think is y'all's reasons for craving that mental space or that personal space in the way that you do?
I really don't know, and I've actually spent time thinking about that. like in the past couple of years, but I really don't know. I don't know at what point that really started. Because as a kid, like I was always somewhat like, I was always very introverted. Like I've never not been an introvert. As I got older, like my man Lau in the chat said, he said, "What if you're selectively extroverted?" As I got over, I got what I would call selectively extroverted, or ambivert might be the word I'm looking for right there. But I just learned that today, so I don't know if I'm using that right. But naturally, like my instinct is to just shut up and not talk to nobody. So I can't really say pinpoint where that comes from. I can just identify it when I see it. So
Probably a comfort
you,
thing.
it probably is. I mean, everything is really boils down to a comfort thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could just point to one thing and say that that's why that is. I don't know. Maybe Zara can speak to that. I don't know.
Well, for me, I don't necessarily know what my nature is, because I've dealt with trauma, so my nature is not the same as it used to be. It's been altered, but I guess I'm someone who enjoys like the ups and downs of dealing with people. And then too, I think because I've dealt with trauma, when people upset me, I know it's not permanent because I've had someone really hurt me before. So when someone says something to upset me or they irritate me, in my mind, it's not a true reason to kind of like to want to retreat. Because what I identify as danger or what I identify as something that's going to alter my peace is different, maybe than you guys or whatever, just the average person. And I think it's different between everyone what it is that upsets people's peace and what it is that alters people's moods. But for me, like, you have to really offend me or piss me off for me not to want to be around you. And then I still wouldn't take it personal because it's not your problem. It's not my problem. It just is what it is. So I think it has a lot to do with the way that we view people, the way we view relationships, and how we value our personal time. Because for me, my personal time is more to decompress and get ready to go back out into the world, as
Right.
opposed to like a safe space. When I'm by myself, I feel very calm, and which I do, but it's still like, oh, I'm just kind of by myself right now because like you said, I want to recharge in a way. But it probably doesn't take as much to deplete me as it might take for one of you guys to deplete you and you guys to maybe need to recharge. I think that's what the difference is.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I definitely, I don't know, as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten out of the introverted shit. Kind of like you said, I'm starting to really get to a point where um, I've been inside of that comfort zone for as long as I can damn near remember. So with me stepping outside of my comfort zone in a lot of different areas of my life, that's definitely one that I think I've been taking a little bit more initiative to like step outside because I'm moody as fuck, bro. I know how I get, and it's like nobody wants to be around that person that doesn't want to talk to nobody or whatever the case may be. But it's like I always looked at it like, ah, well, everybody gets like this. Like you can't be mad at me for something that you go through. But I think part of it, right, is just kind of understanding that there are other people who might not be in that space. So like
Right.
there's a way to just do it without being a dickhead. I think that's just kind of the thing that I had to come to that balancing act because I've come from a place of just being a dick and when I say something I mean it and when I say how I feel like that's how I feel you can't do nothing about it whatever and just kind of telling you like that's what it is and kind of growing from that you just learn like you can still feel like that, but putting that kind of energy out to people, it usually doesn't yield you anything in return. Nothing good.
Nah, never.
Yeah.
So I tend to keep that shit to myself now, and I like my mood still switches or whatever, but a lot of times I just I take when I do get my personal space, I just kind of reflect on it when I get there, and then I say, moving forward, this is how we're gonna move, and then that's just I just kind of piece by piece, day by day, I build like this wall of security when it comes to how I deal with other people and my relationships with people. So that way I
Yeah.
don't feel overwhelmed all the time.
And then even talking about comfort zones, like kind of like how I say, as I've gotten older, like I can be selectively extroverted, because it's just I've just been, or I've realized as I've gotten older that I'm gonna be in more situations where I'm gonna have to do this. Like I'm gonna have to talk to people. I'm gonna have to be social, quote unquote.
Yeah.
To put myself out there, to make some connections, network, and just kind of get myself out there and get more comfortable doing it. Like being on a podcast, like you know, you're gonna have to talk,
Yeah.
or even putting out YouTube videos. Like it's just like if you talk to me when I was like 15, 14, 16, something like that, I would never be doing nothing like this ever. But it's just kind of one of those things where I just had to kind of force myself to kind of be on the ledge with and kind of just figure it out as I go along. Just because, look, at some point you're just gonna have to do it to some extent. But I still do have that battery to where I'm like, all right, I need a break real quick. Let me recharge up, and then we can attack this from another way. So.
Yeah. I was just curious. Just curious about y'all's feelings about y'all personal space, y'all bubble. How y'all feel?
I'm low key upset that I really can't pinpoint like why that is, or if that's just like something that's built into people, like when they're born, or like if it's as a result of something. I feel like I should know the answer to that.
I don't look at you no way because you don't. I mean, it's just I think everybody.
Because I'll kick you off.
Oh, that's crazy. He said, well, that's good, nigga, because you got a job still.
Yeah, you better not look at me no way.
You still got a job.
You got a job. Hollering.
Oh, my God.
Because I don't know. But I think in all seriousness, I think it's all right, right? Because you still learning.
Yeah.
You're not shutting yourself off from growing. You're not shutting yourself off from, coming out of the other side of that. So that's why, it's just I don't really judge people for going through their struggles or like their internal battles.
What the fuck was that?
Or like
I'm sorry. I heard like a Windows thing, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, no, that was my laptop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I don't really judge people when they go through their internal battles, because I know that when I don't know and I'm trying to figure out myself with myself, it's confusing. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of I feel like this one day, I feel like this in the next day. So I can't be mad that you can't pinpoint it. I was just curious if you knew, because like I said, I naturally just say, oh, I was an only child, so I'm kind of introverted. I'm good by myself, like whatever. But when it comes to me, when I work with a group of people, like in school or whatever, or like on a group project or whatever, like even when we were doing compilation battles, I enjoy working with other people. I get kicks off of that shit. Like it's fun. Like I like interacting with people and talking to people and achieving a goal with other people who aren't afraid to achieve that goal and work for it.
Some people,
yeah, of course,
Yeah,
some people. Because some people they just they're just not there with you, and so when you find people that are, it's nice to just gauge where they at with their personal life and their personality.
Now, has the pandemic, like, has that altered how any of you may feel about anything that you've said so far? Has it showed you some things, or have you learned new things about yourself?
Zara?
Well, I just kind of learned that I am someone who needs a lot of physical interaction with other people. And
Specifically physical.
Yeah, I need a lot of physical interaction with other people. I of course I love talking to other people, but I could kind of do without that. Honestly, I don't need to do a whole bunch of talking to people, and verbally interacting with people, because I'm not necessarily the first person to give a fuck what the other person think, because like I'm very confident in my own intelligence and thoughts. So I think it is a privilege to me for me to want to share intellectual space with certain people, because in my mind I find them to be people that I want to hear from and I care about what they have to say. But I'm more so just realized during COVID that I need physical interaction with others, or else I would probably get really depressed.
I feel that.
I would say shit.
Ju- oh,
Fucking yeah. I would. I can vibe with that, but I would also. I would add that just I stand for more interaction in general. Yeah, I'm a very to myself person. You probably don't know that if you fuck with me from the Cord and everything like that online, but that's not. I'm only like that online because that's how I am in person, and I hate when people say that shit. Oh, it's the same nigga behind the screen, off the screen, in the streets, in the club. I'm the same dude, but I don't know, bro. Like I focused on tapping into myself more, like being comfortable and confident in the shit that I do. So it's having confidence in my interactions with people, because I feel like I've started to do that, and within the matter of like 6 months, I've seen benefits from it, and I wouldn't trade this shit for anything. Like it's
there
really
we
a
go.
blessing. So
There we go.
I like it. I'm cool with it. I like the pandemic.
you you like the pandemic? Well, let's get out the pandemic too. You know,
That part.
but
Yeah, so we can go back and take these fucking life lessons with us and actually apply them.
Right.
exactly, and then go to Miami with no worries.
South Beach, Poppy.
Even though you basically are already there, so I don't even know why I'm talking to you.
Couple
Couple
hours,
hours away.
man. Couple hours. You hear me?
He said, "Look, that ain't nothing but a gas tank right there.
Yeah, it really ain't.
I'll be over there soon.
Next stop. Live on a Monday.
Okay. Look, you you going crazy right now. You gotta relax a little bit.
Yeah, you doing a lot.
Way too much.
I'm giving out scholarships.
This nigga. All right.
I'm not entertaining him.
What will be the name of your scholarship fund?
The Juicy Jew Fund.
The,
The juicy.
this nigga said the juicy juice.
Oh my god. Oh, hold on. I got something for you.
Hey, I need one of those, like, just to follow me around all day.
Not but
Hey, put it on your iPhone and just play it.
Oh God, that's what I'm gonna start doing.
That was a good one. Juicy Jew.
The Juicy Jew Fund.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, low key, that was like GOAT era music right there.
I'm just saying.
Right here.
Gonna start playing scholarships.
Look, you got the scholarship.
I'm handing them out.
Tell them what you're doing, Juicy Jew. Pause. Pause. Ew.
Yeah, don't ever call me that.
Ew, I don't like that at all.
Don't ever call me Juicy again.
I don't like that at all. You know what? Let me cut.
Yeah,
let me cut it off.
cut it off.
Let's move on. We're moving on.
We
I don't like
were
that.
talking about space and our personal space and things like that. Zara, I believe that you wanted to take the space conversation to the next level, literally and metaphorically.
I did. I did. I actually just wanted to kind of, I wanted to talk about like the final frontier, which for us as humans is space. I just think that it's really interesting, like the things that people are trying to do right now. I know NASA just landed a probe or a satellite on Mars, if I'm not mistaken. That was like a week ago. Some type of land rover, but I don't know what those are, so that's why I said a probe or a satellite.
Okay. It's like a little rover.
Yeah.
Like a little thing you can drive, like a RC car.
Yeah, but I don't know what type of data they're trying to pick up. Like if they're trying to pick up signals, or is it just looking for life? Like I'm not sure. but they've done that. And then in the past, we all know that Elon Musk has been trying to get up to Mars. So there's kind of just like this race to Mars right now. I think because Mars, I know Mars and Venus are two of the closest planets to us. Mars, Venus, and Mercury, because they're the smallest planets. So they're closer in our orbits, and then the bigger planets are farther away. So like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, those are like really like light years away. There, it would take us a couple years to get there. Whereas opposed to Mars, I think it takes 6 months to get there. So it's been this.
Damn, 6 months is a long trip.
Is it though in space?
Yeah. Like imagine like okay, I know like it's not like you don't take a plane there, right? But you would take a ship. And let's say the ship, was decked out like a hotel.
Cruise ship.
That's still like a cruise ship, but you're gonna spend 6 months on a cruise ship? That's a long time.
I mean, but
I'll do that shit.
people in the Navy spend longer than 6 months on a ship.
They be going crazy over there too.
I think it depends on the mentality, to be honest.
They like that shit.
Yeah, some people do. Some people do.
Shit.
Because I think a spaceship is probably. Because if you think about it, the spaceships that we're gonna, well, not we, but the spaceships that we as human beings are gonna be on at first, they're probably not gonna be the best, most luxurious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We gonna be on the coach spaceship.
Right, and that's what's scary to me. But yeah, it just when thinking about space has had me thinking about the global market. I'm thinking about the economy, thinking about job security and job security in the future, and excuse me. What it had me thinking about was just how important I think psychology is going to become, because once you go into space, your brain changes, your body changes, everything changes, and there's something called, I forget, it's some type of space dysphoria, but it's like when you're in space, because you don't have the sun and you don't have a real concept of time, like you basically it's like chronic neuroses. And so I think stuff like that is really interesting. And I also too think that it's so odd that us as like poor people, not saying that we are poor just by regular standards.
In the grand scheme of things, we are.
Unfortunately, right? Not in spirit, but I just think it's so interesting that the average layman person who's a pedestrian, who's like not a billionaire like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, like how we kind of are very disconnected from space and disconnected from the front, like space exploration. And so that brought into my mind classism and how that's going to take a place. And it's just like, are all these isms going to go with us to space? So it's just like theoretically, I've just been thinking about the space age recently.
Well, if the people go, then all that's coming with it. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right now, they figuring the shit out. Okay, how can we get this big ass spaceship built and sell y'all some tickets so y'all can get up here? And then, like I said, I was joking about the coach spaceship, but it's really gonna be first class, coach, and then whatever the fuck else in the back. Y'all can go in the luggage chamber or whatever.
Not the luggage chamber.
Get out there. They're gonna have the little the dried up ramen noodles. You just throw some water in that. You eat that for 6 months, and we gonna.
I don't think you're allowed to have that much water on a spaceship.
Well, yeah, that's why I got the freeze dried. Not freeze dried. What's the word I'm looking for?
It is freeze dried. It's freeze dried.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Freeze dried. Where you you don't put a lot of water on it, but like it's like a whole meal, but it's like real small.
Okay.
Because once it hits the water in your body, it's supposed to like expand and like disperse all the nutrients and whatnot. But the shit tastes horrible.
Oh, okay.
So
it's like you're talking about like space food.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds gross. I'm not really, but the question that I kind of wanted to pose to you guys was just like, so let's say, let's say within the next 5 or 10 years, because what they're saying is that we're going to have really great technological advances within the next 10 years, which I'm interested to see. Hopefully it ain't no maniacal shit, but ain't no telling. But if like within like the next 10, 20 years, like there was an opportunity to like kind of go settle space and you were given the opportunity, would you go or would you stay here?
In the next 5-10 years?
I mean, and I would say within the next decade to 3 or 4 decades.
Oof, that's tough. If it's 10 years out, I'm not going. I'm staying my black ass right here.
Fuck
We
no.
we gonna figure this shit out on Earth.
Okay.
I let the white people figure that out, and go in there and do their colonization. Y'all good at that, and then I'll go back there and see who all there, and then
Who all finna be up there?
Who all there?
who all gonna be there is the real question.
Who all
'cause
gonna be there?
I'm not trying to go in space by myself.
I mean,
Y'all ain't got no infrastructure. We don't even really know if it's aliens up there yet.
but that's like the wild. It's like, but to think about it, to me, it's like that's why I think of it as like the final frontier. Which it's so crazy that, not even, well, yeah, like 400 years ago, 300 years ago, California and Texas were the final frontier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, of course, there's gonna be lawlessness, which I think you saw how my eyes lit up. Like,
you got real excited when you said that shit.
That's fucking sick.
She said the lawlessness.
of course, there's gonna
Anarchy.
be right, exactly. Of course, there's gonna be anarchy and lawlessness. But to be honest with you, what I could say is, if I had a research opportunity to go out in space, I think I would do it. As much as I think I wouldn't do it, I think I would do it.
Research opportunity. No, you the research.
I think because my thing is this.
You are the research.
You the research. That's what they
The
research.
gag is.
But like, do you think that like, do you think that view, like the modern human view of space, do you think that's ignorant? Not like saying, you get what I'm saying, like how like when we didn't know about certain medicines, we were ignorant to them. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we're all speaking from a degree of ignorance because none of us have been in space. But it's just
How you know?
All right.
I want to. Hey, I'll go, but as soon as
You're not getting it off here.
as soon as I see some little crazy shit, I'm going home, bro.
That's not how that works, Jew.
Shit, you going home? What, you gonna jump?
Not how that works.
I'm gonna get all my little 6-month fucking carry on that I took up to that motherfucker, and we going right back.
The 6-month carry on.
I don't know what's in that motherfucker, but that shit going right back.
A 6-month carry on.
But hold on,
Straight
because
back
like,
down to Orlando. From
But we don't even,
Mars
like-
to Orlando.
what it has to be an adjustment period, because like gravity is not the same on like, Mars and shit, because the distance from the moon and the sun and everything is different. So like gravity ain't the same. So how does that like affect your body?
Well, as long
That's
as
what I was talking about, is that it has an effect on you. when
Yeah,
you go
but-
into outer space in general.
right, but as long as you're in, I think that when we start doing intergalactic space travel, that's long term. Like when we start going to the outer planets, we'll probably be in spaceships where we have some type of boots that can gravitate us down. That more than likely that's going to be, because there's no way it's like trying to control the air on Earth. Like you can't control the air where you go.
Yeah.
No matter how high tech the ship is, it's more so having like weighting yourself down so you can actually like walk on the ship.
Yeah, but would that be better, or would it be better to just try and get used to it? Because it's like basically like
It wouldn't be better.
you're 100.
You can't get used to that, bro.
You can't get used to that with our human bodies. Now, if we were to have children in space, they could get used to it. But then still, our bodies as like homozygous, like as humanoids, our bodies with bones and matter and muscles, we're really not meant to live in space at all.
Well, you're seeing my point now.
Right.
Because we was born here.
Exactly.
And our bodies are shaped
For
as
here.
to the atmosphere that's here.
Right.
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 And so you're trying to put us there, and it's just not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Gravity is based on the mass of the planet you're on. Well, that's what I'm saying. Cause
There is no gravity
Mars
in
is
space.
Well, no, he's talking about on the planet, because
okay.
Mars is a smaller planet than Earth,
Okay.
I believe. And so the gravity would be, I think, would it be higher or lower?
It would be lower,
Whatever it is,
I
it would be
think.
different.
All I know is
And
if
so
that
it's
shit get too high, you can't even.
It's gone.
Can't do nothing. Yeah, like
Squash
you get
you.
smushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you start talking about the outer planets like Jupiter and Uranus
Ain't no
and stuff
telling.
like that. But aside from the gravity, like it's cold.
Well, some
Like
of
it's
them, yeah.
cold. Like, because
I
they're
don't
like
wanna go out
further
in
and
space.
further away from
Fuck
the
that.
sun. So like, how you going?
But some of them have their own suns and their own moons. So I think
That's
it depends
true.
on. It depends on the planet. Because I know Jupiter has a lot of moons. I think Jupiter also is the one with volcanoes on it. One of them has volcanoes on them.
Yeah. It has there's like storms on Jupiter regularly, and I think it has 8 moons.
Bruh, Jupiter will be
something like that.
lit. I would love to go to Jupiter. That would be so
While you go to outer space, I'll just start my Atlantean community underwater. We'll be in the tropics.
Underwater. Now you're talking.
Wait,
I could do underwater.
You fucking mortals, you mere mortal human beings, you peons, you fucking decide to go underwater. I'll go on outer space.
Foolish.
I'll go underwater for research purposes. I'll do it.
That already has proven not to work because Atlantis. What is it? Yeah, Atlantis is gone, and that actually they say it was a thing.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I think it was a thing.
Call me, beat me.
They
if
thought
you
it was.
Reach me, if you wanna reach me.
Y'all thought it was
Call
gone.
me, beat me, if you wanna reach me.
We gonna get copywritten by motherfucking Disney now. We was talking shit about Stephen A. Now we got Kim Possible playing.
Yeah, we're not doing
y'all
too
thought
hot.
it was sweet over here.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse not playing with that shit.
Somebody did this.
Somebody.
Had to marinate on it.
Somebody did this.
Nobody did that. Nobody did that. It was just the phone.
Call me.
Man, I'm not going to no planets.
Why?
I damn near would rather go into the Earth's crust before I go out.
So you want to go to Middle Earth? That would be lit. Ooh, going to
I would
Middle
do
Earth.
that.
I beg your
as opposed-
pardon? I
I
beg
thought
your
that
pardon?
was this nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. There's another person on our chat.
Just say go to Middle Earth. Excuse me.
like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
All right.
But this is my thing though. At some point, I think at some point we're gonna exit the 3D and go into like the 5D, the 6D, and then we're gonna start seeing and experiencing things that we never have as humans, just because that's how things are. So it's just like
I'm ready.
No, because eventually this planet's gonna kick us off.
No, it's not.
Because
not while we're alive.
Right. No, not while we're alive.
So
no.
we only worried about
but
now.
it's gonna kick us off 100%.
I was about to say, y'all don't feel like a massive extinction is like we're not due for that.
Well,
100%.
But it says, okay, so this is my thing with that, right? We as humans don't even need to be worried about that because those happen on grand scale, so they happen every couple of million of years. We ain't gonna be here when it happens, so who give a fuck?
But what if we is though?
Don't speak that into my existence.
But no, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, what if we like everything that we doing to the environment and whatever, like it's all like it could have like okay, so like let's say the graph shows it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like we got fucking 1 million years is a catastrophic event, 2 million years is another one, so on and so forth. What if like the shit that we did turned that motherfucker up to an exponential type joint? So now it's like we up here and we a lot closer than what we thought before type shit. That's what I get concerned about in terms of like environmentalism and globalism and all of that type of shit. While people are down here trying to fucking be the best humans or fucking best whatever, Russians, Chinese, American, while they trying to worry about being the best version of that, they could be trying to be the best human and figure this shit out, because there's a lot of shit that we still don't know about shit that we have right in front of us. Because a lot of this shit is perception based. So I feel like we have
that's
to
very
look
true.
inward before we look outward. We don't even understand the human brain, but we want to fucking
Go to space.
do everything else. Yeah, I want us to stay grounded in terms of like, can we get a grasp on what happens when we die? Can we get a grasp on
But we'll never know those things.
Are?
We'll never know those things.
We'll never know, and even if you put every single effort and resource that we had on understanding what's going on down here, every piece of science has already said that, like, going back to like 10 years or so, right? Like, look, if we don't drastically change how we consume energy, how we, consume fossil fuels and stuff like that, this shit is going out of here by 2060. Like, the ozone depleted, atmosphere fucked up.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Hurricanes, tornado.
I think that's highly politicized environmental stuff. I do think global warming is a thing that I am never going to be that girl. I do think that we are actively destroying our planet. But I do think that it is in the economic interest of the people who are the wealthiest to have us in an existential crisis about planet Earth. And at the end of the day, if we destroy the ozone layer, that only kills us. That doesn't kill the Earth.
Well, yes.
Because the
So,
Earth has Earth has multiple layers, and if one layer erodes, it just goes to another layer. The Earth is always replenishing itself.
well, yeah. So that's why I agree with you. I kind of halfway agree with you because yeah, the Earth is still going to be here, and that's what I think it's doing. The Earth is sensing that stuff is being done to it and hurting it, and it's trying to cleanse itself, correct itself of all the stuff that's going against it, right?
But
and
It's
and
a
it is
very
highly
weird personification, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Why are you putting these personal, these person-like emotions? Okay, think about it this way.
It's not. And I'm not trying to put emotions on it. I'm just trying to use analogies so that it kind of
Okay,
makes
I get
sense
what you're
I'm
saying. I get what you're
Okay.
saying.
You know, so, and I agree with you in that it's highly politicized because everybody has a political agenda at the end of the day, well, no matter which side you're on. But I mean, there are facts and research out there that does support that. You know that, like, look, we're doing irreversible damage at this point that we can't withstand. The Earth will still be here,
Right.
But if we destroy the ozone layer,
We done.
we can't survive. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be it's pollution everywhere. All these unwanted toxins, our bodies can't handle it. We're gonna be out of here.
But I think too, like, a lot of times those are environmental scientists, right? They're not genealogists, and they're not they don't study human anatomy, and they also too don't understand that us as humans will evolve because that's what our genes will do. So we might not be able to survive, but if we continue to have kids who have kids who have kids, they will evolve and they will adapt to this horrible pollution. Because you think of India.
Yeah.
India has horrible pollution, and their bodies have learned how to adapt and survive. So it's not so. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I'm disagreeing with the finality of which scientists assert themselves and they make these predictions without really being as holistic as possible. Because I think when you doom us to death and destruction, you don't give people any. You don't give them any. You don't give them any. What is I'm looking for? Enticement to change. So if you say that the Earth is dying and we're gonna die, why would people start to recycle? Why would people give a fuck? Because the Earth is dying and we're gonna die. So that's why that's kind of what I think of when I hear of that. When I hear those types of research assignments, it's just like, okay, well, how is any of this information helpful? Is this information just alarming people, or is this information actually informing people and making it so people are prepared to make the right decisions to keep the Earth alive?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think some of that is presented, like put out there to present to people who are in power to make those necessary changes, to like shift, laws and stuff so that it will be a requirement. Because just the nature of people, like they don't want to do anything that inconveniences them, right? So they're just going to do what they're used to and what's easiest to them because they don't see an immediate consequence for that. So I think that's why a lot of that stuff is put out there because they're presenting it to parties to make a forcible change. And then some of it, like I said, some of it could be just, propaganda, just kind of push an agenda because everybody at the end of the day has a political agenda. So
Right.
both things could be true there.
Absolutely.
And then back to what you're saying about people evolving, people will definitely evolve, but I think at this point it's kind of like a race against the clock. Like how quickly can you evolve before this ultimately becomes too much to endure for survivability, And none of us really have a real timetable on that.
We don't, and there's no
but
point in worrying about it, to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Yeah, but it's just something like, I think about because, obviously I have a son. And so, with him growing up and, God willing, living past when I'm here, and then, he has a child, it just things that cross my mind as to, what will it be like at that point? Like, will it be past the point of return? Like, will there be just drastic or radical change to kind of, fix some of that damage there? Or are we just going to keep doing what we're doing and then just see what happens? It's just things I think about.
You know what's cute about that? Old niggas.
Oh, God.
Old niggas said the same thing about us.
Yeah.
Our granddads probably said the same thing.
Right.
When they were
Probably did.
when they were slaves, Do you think they ever envisioned a world where a nigga was a president?
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Things get better. When things get
grandma
worse
said
before
shit
they
like
get
that.
better.
And it's the natural like way of the universe. It cleanses itself so often.
Mm-hmm.
It does it
Yeah.
so organically. It does it so naturally. There's
We
no
are
shit, like you said.
insignificant.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's no
So,
reason for us
and
to be
that's
so burdened with all that
But
shit.
but you know, just like you say, it cleanses itself naturally and organically. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, it's the earth is almost seems like it's cleansing itself, like trying to get rid of like because I really could go a lot deeper into my personal beliefs as to shit like that.
You about to call
But we'll-
humans parasites?
We'll see. No.
Right. Yeah. No, I love myself
No,
as a
no, no,
human,
no.
and we are not
No, no, no.
parasitical because without
Never
us here,
that.
the earth would not have really a purpose.
I mean, certain humans are parasites, but that's another conversation.
Oh, now you potting.
Nah, but we'll be here for another hour but doing that. But I do believe the earth is cleansing itself to a degree to rid itself of what's hurting it, because that's just how organic things perform, right? So
I agree. Shit, when I
It be
cut
kinda-
myself, that shit heal.
Won't it do it?
it
If
will
you cut a
do
branch-
it.
If you cut a branch off a tree,
it's
that
gonna keep
motherfucker
doing
gonna
it.
grow back.
And it ain't gonna take it personal either. It's just gonna grow back, and either you gonna be there or you ain't.
Yeah, look, nothing personal. I just got to get you the fuck off my
You
planet.
just gotta go.
You just going, hey, I fuck with you, but you got to get on up
You
out
just
of
got
here.
to get the fuck up out of here. You hear me?
And
Okay, you guys, my computer is about to die.
Speaking of getting the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's time
shit.
for us to get the
Fuck.
fuck
I
out
was
of here.
about to say my computer's about to die, so I'm gonna have to leave.
Look at that timing. Let's see how everything just comes full circle.
Everything comes full circle like the globe.
Circle. Like the globe, the earth, spherical.
That's like the
It all-
parag. What is it called? What is it? The something Pythagorean and theorem. The theory.
Pythagorean theorem. That's a
Yeah.
triangle, but it's
I thought it was
we
a
rolling.
circle.
It's a triangle, but we're gonna
Oh.
keep going.
The circle is circumference, radius.
Yeah, there you
that-
go.
that
There we
jump
go.
off.
All the maths.
That
Okay.
diameter.
The circle is kiss my black ass, and I gotta go. I love you guys. I only got 1% left on my computer. Bye.
Follow
Bye.
Bye.
Yes,
Wait,
you
hold on.
see the socials. You see the socials.
Oh,
see the
leave.
social.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean leave. I'm leaving. Bye.
Bye,
Well,
Zara.
that's
Bye, Zara.
fine because we gonna wrap it up anyway. I'm motherfucking Jew. That's motherfucking Clips. Oh, he's somewhere. I don't know if he's to the left or the right, but he's somewhere around
I'm
me.
everywhere.
Follow us on all of them streaming DSPs: SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere. Audio Mac, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of places.
Links in the description.
The
just
link
click
is
the
in
description.
the
The links is down
damn
there.
description. Click that
And
shit.
you should be subscribed to us on all platforms anyway. So I mean, you should get the
Subscribe.
notification.
Hit the
Turn the
like
notifications on.
button. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. That'd be fantastic.
Ooh, yes.
That'd be
Now you-
amazing.
Now we get
comment
somewhere.
comment on the video. If that nigga, if Zara had a booger and we missed it, let her know. Don't be like that, fucking bogus. But yeah, no, it's been great. This is episode 13 of this podcast. It's canceled. I am Jew once again. That is my lovely co-host, Mr. Clips. Zara had to leave because her shit was finna die, but we here, and we will be back next week.
Yes,
Same
sir.
time, same niggas, same queen. I might have an 8 to spit.
Oh,
I fell in love with the Doty. I fell in love with the Rolly.
Don't let me come back with the scholarship freestyle.
These demons, they
oh
calling my
shit.
soul.
Let me do
Hey,
it.
I said, fuck all
you might have to do it.
Hold on.
I have to do it.
Turn me up.
I'm balling
Nah,
out of
nah, I'm
control.
out.
Say-
We
say
out.
we over there,
Give
phones.
everything.
All right, thank y'all for coming through, man. We out of here. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
For me to move on to succeed. Jealousy, envy, and greed.